just like across the Viraja River, the first stage? Or is it much more than that? Huh? Yes, he goes on to describe this. He goes to, but he doesn't actually describe Shantaras. He describes Dasyaras, Sakyaras, Vatsalyaras, and Krishna Kanta, or Madhurya Ras. But he doesn't actually describe Shantaras. So I was thinking before that this prem is like the prem of Shantaras, something neutral. But actually, on closer inspection, it's not quite like that. So I'm just going to read and we discuss together this topic. Because this is what we discussed yesterday. So this is the chapter Prema Bhakti. This is Madhya Lila 8:68. Srimad Mahaprabhu said, "O Ramananda, this may be called the Satya." So Mahaprabhu is acknowledging that this prem bhakti is called the Satya. But he says, but please speak something more. Sri Ramananda Roy said, Prema Bhakti is the essence of all perfection. So this is Prema Bhakti. So now the commentary by my Gurudev. Up until now, Sriman Mahaprabhu had only responded to four proposals. Eko Maya. This is external. But now he says, Eko Haya. This may be. We've crossed a line here. When Gyan Shunya Bhakti was proposed, he said, this is good. But because whatever Sri Ramananda Rai had explained had not been conducive for the progressive understanding of the master-servant relationship. It's like Sharanagati. Where is the relationship? Nishkarma Karma Yoga, where is the relationship? It's just about you. Understand? It's singular. There's not two. There's not the subject and object. Where is the prem when we come to this state of consciousness of Sharanagat or Gyan Mishra? What is Gyan Mishra Bhakti? Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma. That's the verse. So that's still just about the individual. It's not about the master servant. It's not about relationship. In the Brahmajyoti, there is no sambandha. There is no relationship. It's impersonal. So it's neutral. I was coming here to avoid all this actually. Around at the moment.
Text 68.
Huh? Text 68. 8 chapter, 68 verse. And the discussion, because of yesterday, I wanted to talk about Prema Bhakti from my Gurudev's teachings. What is Prema Bhakti? He unpacks it. So you should, whatever you're thinking, and we will discuss this. I'm not just going to speak, I'm going to read and discuss. Maharaj, you discuss something. Anything that you think you want to say, you just say. Okay. So, understanding the master-servant relation. However, this Gyan Shunya Bhakti is favorable for its development. Understand that point. Gyan Shunya Bhakti. Now, what is this beautiful verse? Gyane Prayasham Udapasya Namanta Eva. You know this beautiful verse here? This was the verse before. So this is favorable for the master-servant relationship. But it's favorable, but it's not conclusive yet. So in this verse here, Lord Brahma is speaking to Krishna. He says, the sadhana to obtain an object that is beyond the senses. It's achintya. Chintya means the senses. So achintya is beyond the senses. with the help of knowledge obtained by the senses is called Aroha Vad. Aroha. Aroha is this descending path. Avaroha is descending. Aroha is going up, yes. Avaroha, like avatar. Avatars descend. So Avaroha is descending. So it's called Aroha Vad, the futile and laborious ascending process. Or Ashrota Panta, the path devoid of oral reception. However, those who do not make any endeavor for Gyan and who instead maintain their lives by exclusively rendering service to the descriptions of your pastimes flowing from the mouths of the sadhus by body, mind, and words are able to conquer. Not by Gyan. So this is Gyan Shunya Bhakti. Gyan which is devoid. No, this is personal now. This is Gyan, this is devoid of knowledge. Huh? Yes. Jnana Karapitam. Despite their not making any endeavor and despite being unconquerable, such persons control you by their praying. So now we come to the chapter on praying. Praying bhakti. Yes, like Vaikuntha. Yes, yes. When it becomes devoid of Aishwarya, then it will control Krishna to some degree, different gradations. This is what's going to be discussed. Mahaprabhu requests for him to speak further on this point, reveals that Sri Ramananda Roy has now reached the correct path. Ramananda Roy is now, it's going in the right direction. From the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.3, that's what we've just said, which Ramananda spoke to illuminate Gyan Shunya Bhakti. This is Bhakti which is devoid of Gyan. And hearing Harikatha is so powerful that Bhagavan becomes controlled by the sadhak who does so. Bhagavan will be controlled by that Harikatha. The Shruti also confirms that Bhagavan is controlled by Bhakti. Bhakti, Ashaha, Purushaha. Yet the degree to which he is controlled is also gradated. That means it goes in stages. It's not just a blanket one understanding. He is not controlled equally by all bhaktas. Not all the same. We're not all in the same container. It's not like that. Everyone has an individual rasa with Krishna that no one else in existence has the same rasa as you. It's completely and utterly unique. This is the principle that Mahaprabhu is going to speak about. It's exactly like the gopis. The gopis all heard the sound of Krishna's flute song calling them into the forest at night. But they were all alone hearing that. And they ran alone to the forest at night. All of them. They didn't run as a group. It was all completely individual. They were thinking, I am the only one running. They made that break with their families their own decision, not as a group decision. When you're in a group, you sort of hide a little bit behind the group. But when you do it alone, then it becomes real. Then it's you personally. So the gopis, they ran alone. But when they came to Krishna, there were billions of other gopis there. They didn't know they were all going to run because the flute called their name. And they thought, Krishna is calling just me. So this is the point to appreciate now from what we're reading. Praying is a very individual state of consciousness. It's just your personal relationship with Krishna. You can't try to include. It's not like when we have, what's that story of Gokarna? When Gokarna, remember the story of Gokarna in the Bhagavatam Mahatmya? Huh? Dumdukari and Gokarna. Dumdukari, yes. When Gokarna was speaking Bhagavatam, then Dundukari, he was ghost inside that bamboo. And every day one knot, bang, bang, because he was desperate. He was in a ghost's body. Remember the story, the pastime? Very beautiful pastime. And at the end of the Saptaha, the Bhagavat Saptaha, one Vaikuntha Vimana plane came and took that Dundukari back to Vaikuntha. And then Gokarna and all the other devotees listening, they said to those personalities, why not us? Why not we go too? And they said, because he was listening with desperation. He was in a ghost's body, suffering so deeply. So he listened very, very attentively. So that gave him the qualification to return. So it's individual. It's not that everyone's listening to the Katha, then everyone goes back. It's not like a group thing like that. I think sometimes we seek security in number. It's like groups. If you have a big group, you think, yes, we are the best, because there's so many people. But if you take out one individual, he doesn't know how to connect properly. So it's not really about groups, it's about the individuality. And this is what this is talking about here specifically. It's a good point my Gurudev is making. Sadhaks engage in devotional services according to their individual tastes and desires. Their individual tastes, and we must learn to respect that. We must not think, oh, because he doesn't do the same as what I'm doing, then he's not part of my group or something like that. If you have that group mentality, I think it's a great obstruction in our devotion. You understand what I'm saying? It's not healthy to think like that. It's healthy when you yourself are fully realized in your own personality, your own self, and then you bring that realization to the group, so to speak. But not that you expect to get that self-realization from the group. You know? Many people don't understand this point. You understand what I'm saying, Maharaj? It's a significant point. Many young people, they'll join because so many people are there. They'll think, oh, I'll join the crowd. But they forget their own selves in joining the crowd. They lose their own individuality. And unless that individuality comes back again, they'll never be strong. If something happened and the group break or something, the leader goes away, something, then they all crash because they haven't actually understood what is the objective. So the tattva and siddhanta has to be understood by everybody, not just, oh, some will understand and others won't. Everyone has to understand these points if we want to actually achieve perfection in our lives, knowing what is the sadhya. So sadhaks engage in devotional services according to their individual tastes and desires, and thus they control Bhagavan to the degree of their devotion. To the degree of their devotion. Not that everyone will control Bhagavan the same way as Tridandi controls Bhagavan, or Ujjvala or Madhumangal controls Bhagavan, or the gopis control Bhagavan. All different intensities of controlling the Lord, because everyone has different bhav and different mood. This is what Krishna wants to taste within us, that individual mood and rasa. It's not all one. It's actually Mayava, ultimately. I know it's a big thing in groups of devotees that they fall into that trap and they think, yes, I'm doing it every day coming and saying, yes, very, very good. But actually, where are they individually? They become somewhat, we call it like robots or something. It's not really waking up their own individual consciousness. It's important to do like that. They may even be performing the same limb of bhakti as each other, my Gurudev is saying. You're doing the same limb. But due to the sadhaks' individual natures, there will be differences in their practice. In the heart region, let's talk just about the heart region. Forget the Gyan. Gyan is helpful to support. We need tattva to be strong. But best place is in the heart region. This is the place where you're going to get satisfaction. This will be where the satisfaction of the soul will arise, not in the pundit mentality. Oh, I can defeat this one, I have so many forces, this and that. This is not going to please and control Krishna. The objective of praying is going to be described as having the quality of control of Krishna. Sri Krishna Akashani Chasa. In this way, it controls Krishna. This is not a fault of Krishna that he's controlled. It's an ornament. This is something very special that the Lord has. He's controlled by that love. There will be differences in their practice, so they will not control Bhagavan to the same degree. Essentially, this means that to the degree of intensity with which a devotee desires to perform service, Bhagavan is then accordingly inclined to manifest his quality of being controlled by him. You know already, we're talking about praying. And yesterday we talked about what is the quality of praying. The quality of praying is greed, lobha. This is the essential quality of praying. So everyone will have a different intensity. Actually, if we've got some problem, like Maharaj, some thinking his maybe foot amputated. Oh my God, you start to pray like you never prayed in your life. Isn't it? No? You don't care about your leg? Most people would care. Maharaj is detached, but most people would care about their legs. Most people would think, oh my God, now I have to really pray. And death is the same dynamic. When death is coming, there's a point when we actually know we have to leave the body and we have to reconcile with our destination. And most people who are not educated, they become afraid. What is that? You understand this verse? So this fear is coming from material absorption. But if you're not materially absorbed, you have nothing to fear. Everything is the Lord's arrangement. So essentially, this means that to the degree of intensity with which a devotee desires to perform service, Bhagavan is then accordingly inclined to manifest his quality of being controlled by him. It's a quality of Krishna to be controlled by him. It's his quality. Like, we have a material understanding of this. If someone is very kind to us, we can choose to be completely submissive to them and their desires. I know in my history before, when I first met Prabhuji in Mathura, in maybe 94, I moved into the Mathura Mutt. And Prabhuji was the only one who looked at me like I was a person. Everybody else was like, rah, 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 rah. But Prabhuji was very, very kind to me. So he took my heart. I allowed him to control me because of his kindness. Understand? So controlled by love. We get controlled by love. Similarly, Krishna. He loves his cowherd boys so much. There's a description in the Gopal Champu when Kaliya Krida, when the cowherd boys, they run to drink the poisonous water. They all die. This pastime is very beautiful. Actually, on this day was Baladev's birthday. His birthday. And Baladev told Krishna, don't go to Kaliya Krida without me, your elder brother. So Krishna just looked at him, didn't say anything. And Krishna gets out of the gate with all the cowherd boys. The first thing he does is go to Kaliya Krida. He doesn't listen to Baladev sometimes. Actually, a few times, he doesn't listen. This is their brotherly relationship. But all the cowherd boys, they all drink the water. And they all die. Essentially, they all leave it, because the water, it's got that poisonous venom from Kaliya. It's very, very, even the birds flying over the lake, they'll fall in and die. And then it's described that Krishna, he goes and he embraces each boy for a long time. provide them. Krishna loves those cowherd boys so much. And with that love, he's controlled. This is prem. We're talking about prem. The topic is prem. What is Krishna's prem? And that prem exists. It has to be reciprocal. You know this word? Reciprocal. It has to be exchange. Object and subject. Understand the nature of love itself. It's a verb. To love. There must be subject and object. It's like in the Brahman. There's no subject and object. There's just you. Right? So there's no, that prem there is neutral. But this prem to be considered is very sweet. This is what my Gurudev wants us to understand here. So he says, it is for this reason that the devotees of Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Kantabhav, that's what do not each control Krishna to the same extent. My Gurudev is trying to explain the nature of this praying. How can we go forward to the sadhya unless we understand these topics break them down through the subtle coverings there? It's not just a blanket thing. When I say blanket, you know what that means? Not just all one. It's through this individual. This is why ultimately Sri Radhika has to manifest billions of gopis to reciprocate with Krishna's bhavs, Krishna's rasa. Radha's kaya vyuha. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur describes 300 billion gopis in the Ras Leela. 300 billion. Yes, 300 billion. So these are all manifested from Sri Radhika. And they all have the same ingredient of greed to please Krishna. All of them. Radhika, every atom of her body only wants to please Krishna. Separate from Krishna. Someone calling. So Radhika's prem is all pervasive. It's described like a rasgulla. It's sugar everywhere, sweetness. There's no place where it is not sweet. Similarly, Radhika is, and all of her kaya vyuha are the same. But they all have individual. Gurudev also describes one other very clear example, like he describes like a music shop owner. He has millions of instruments, but he can't play any of them. But he has a very good friend who can play them all. This is Radhika. Radhika can play all of the emotions within Krishna. We can understand this from a material example. We also have different identities, so to speak. If you're meeting some outside man about some business, you have a certain mentality that you're going to deal with him. If you're meeting an old friend, godbrother, you have another mentality. If you're meeting guru, you have another mentality. So we have these distinct relationships with different people, right? These different rasas. So similarly with the Lord, he has these distinct rasas. With all this makes the variety. This is what Krishna loves. It's achintya, completely achintya. But this is what my Gurudev is describing. He says here now, you speak anything more you want, anything that comes to your mind, what I'm speaking. There is another point to consider. Is Bhagavan controlled simply by hearing the Harikatha that comes from the mouth of his devotees? Who's a devotee? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 devotees sitting here. We're all completely different. Who is the same? Is any one of us the same as anyone else? You from Brazil? Is it?
Colombia.
Colombia, sorry. You from Brazil. You from
Bangalore.
Bangalore. You from Karnataka. You from local. Where am I from? Canada, England. All completely different, but we're listening to the same Katha. And he's saying, is Bhagavan controlled simply by hearing the Harikatha that comes from the mouth of his devotees? Or is Bhagavan controlled by a listener who attains some special state of hearing Harikatha? So it's not just the speaking, it's the hearing. We just gave this example of Dundukari. He was hearing the Bhagavatam. He wasn't speaking it. He was hearing it, and by the power of that hearing, he went back to Vaikuntha. It wasn't the speaker, Gokarna, he didn't go. He went later. So it's not just the speaker, it's the listener. He also.
They all listen. They
Huh?
all listen.
They all listen, but only him, only one.
This person who listens,
Yeah.
he contemplated the whole night.
Yes, yes, correct, correct. Huh? Parikshit Maharaj, yes, listening to Shukadev Goswami. And there were many, 88,000 rishis were there. How many of them also attained the same destination? All individually different. I think it's very healthy to appreciate this. It's not all one. I have to say this because I know in many groups of people or societies, etc., they try to make it like one mind, but it's not. It's not. It doesn't work. It's like a fearful condition of it's insecurity that we want to make it like that. And it's not correct. It doesn't control Bhagavan. Or is Bhagavan controlled by a listener who attains some special state of hearing Harikatha? It is with the intention of clarifying this that Mahaprabhu asked Ramananda Roy to speak a little further on the subject. Mahaprabhu is so merciful here. He is giving us prem on a plate. Yes.
Because they are like Rajarishi. So many kings are there.
Yes.
There is Samrat after king ruling the country.
Yeah.
After that there is Samrat, and that Samrat except as a guru.
Yeah.
For direction. For their power is from earth to ocean. All they conquered. That's what then the Sarvabhauma fighting comes. They have conquered all lands, all oceans, everything. That's why they are Sarvabhauma.
Sarvabhauma. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Jagannath Das Babaji is Sarvabhauma also. Yes. Very nice. Yes.
Jagannath Babaji Maharaj is also Sarvabhauma.
Yeah. But individually. Yes. The listener controls Bhagavan just by listening to the narration of Bhagavan's pastimes. This is fine, but this takes place only when the hearer of Harikatha is situated in the stage of prem. Our topic is prem. This is what he's talking about, prem. When you're situated in prem and you're listening with full attention, you have the ability to control Bhagavan, the listener, like Parikshit Maharaj, like he's saying. So now the title heading is Prema Bhakti, devotion, endowed with the characteristics of divine love. Love. Love is two. I'm just saying love is a verb. To love. We must know the object of our affection and attraction. Our object here is Radha Govinda. Lalita Saki, Vishaka Saki, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, Mahaprabhu. This is our objective, living in this mandir. It is their house. They are the owners of this property, and we are serving them with affection as much as we can, cooking for them, cleaning for them, chanting kirtan for them, speaking. Everything is for their benefit. If we're thinking, oh, just only for my benefit, then this is not going to connect with praying. Is it? That proclivity to render such service that it gives excessive happiness to Krishna is that propensity, we say. That's another word for, they use the word proclivity, but they use the word in English, proclivity. It means ability. Sometimes this editor who's doing this, she uses some bigger words, not so easy to understand. That proclivity to render such service that it gives excessive happiness to Sri Krishna is called prem. Specifically to give Krishna pleasure. That is what's called prem. It's called prem. No, not proclaim. Prem. Prem. To give happiness to Krishna. To have that desire. To give Krishna happiness. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Yes. We can control him. Yes. Yes. You're beyond the upadhis. Yes. This is going to be explained.
But this doesn't apply to their upadhis are not mundane.
No, not even there.
Is Sarva, is Chitta,
Yes.
Their upadhis are not mundane.
Correct. Nothing mundane.
Continue.
Through the performance of hearing and chanting performed in the stage of Gyan Shunya Bhakti, by the mercy of Bhagavan, the contamination of the heart is gradually dispelled. When you're doing your bhakti without the consideration of Gyan, the Gyan that we hold, we said yesterday, this Tat Padartha Gyan, Tvam Padartha Gyan, we hold that. Knowledge of Krishna, knowledge of self, that is held. But Jiva Brahma Aikya Gyan, dispelled. Thereafter, knowledge of the servant's relationship with the Lord, as well as the tendency to serve Krishna, manifest in the heart. So understanding what is my relationship with Krishna, this will manifest in the heart. Then by the mercy of the Swarup Shakti, it's always Swarup Shakti. First of all, the knowledge comes by Samvid Shakti in the mental quantum. This is described in chapter 14, Jivadhamma. This Samvid Shakti acts in the mental quantum. You have to have knowledge, you have to have tattva, siddhanta, and then that comes down into the heart. And in the heart, it mixes with the Hladini Shakti. And in that condition, then the relationship, that dormant, Jivara Surup Hoy Krishnarani, wakes up. So first knowledge comes, and then we said this yesterday, comes into the heart, and then Prema Bhakti will arise. Saying here, then by the mercy of the Swarup Shakti, the essence of the Hladini and Samvid Shaktis, Krishna's transcendental bliss and knowledge potencies, enters the heart of the sadhak. The fully ripened or mature stage of Shuddha Sattva is called Prem. Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma, Prem Suryavam Samyabhak, Ruchi Vistita Mishnu, Shud, Ashu, Bhav Uchyate. This Bhav is the ray of the sun of prema. This package we should understand. Not so much understand, but appreciate, taste. We want, like you said yesterday, experience, you used that word.
Yeah, whatever it is, when one comes to bigger exchange of experience,
Yeah.
we start relishing it in more.
Tasting it. This is what we want. Not here. This is dry.
It is needed. It is needed.
Okay, no problem.
It is needed, but when we
First this, and then it'll come in the heart. Yes, just like Sharanagati is needed, but it's not the goal. Here in this Ramananda Rai Samvad, it's discussing every page is the sadhya, the sadhya, the sadhya. We have to set our compass. My Gurudev said, 5 times a day, you can check your direction. Am I going in the right direction? Do I want moksha now? Suddenly I am suffering. Oh my God, I want to be happy. Right? And then I spend the next 2 hours trying to be materially happy. It's too hot, it's too cold, something like that. So my focus, my compass has changed. So many times in the day, the compass is going to move. In Kali Yuga especially. So we have to try and fix all the time this sadhya. Again, that's why I come into the temple, be with Vaishnavas, be book, Harinam, all of these Vaishnava activities to fix the compass. Huh? So important. Yes. Is known as Prema Bhakti. Bhagavat Katha is both our sadhya and our sadhana. Both. Bhagavat Katha is the sadhya as well as the sadhana. We have to know how to proceed. It's like, for example, if you study this Upadeshamrita, 11 verses. Vacho Vegam, Manasakroda Vegam, Atyahara Prayasyascha. Huh? Yeah. But if I'm studying this without knowing what is the goal, why should I try to control my senses? I first have to know verse 11. When you're studying this Upadeshamrita, you first describe verse 11. And what is the nature of that? To serve Sri Radhika in Radhakund. So if we know that first, then I'm very enthusiastic to take this Vacho Vegam Manasa. Very happy to do that because I know the objective. Why would you come into the mat and not understand what is the goal? Many people come into the mat, they look for liberation. Most people, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it talks in the beginning about the bliss of liberation. Because sensitive, serious practitioners, they want liberation first. But then when they have association, that liberation becomes transformed into wanting prema. It changes. But the first desire is liberation. Everyone is suffering like crazy in the material world.
Put the Lord's lotus feet, take shelter. Keep one personality Devi. Liberation is, but there are so many limitations. But the devotee cannot understand Bhagavan.
But first, yes. But he's first coming, not understanding so many things like this. His first desire is to be happy. Everyone in existence wants to be happy. But how to be happy? Am I going to be happy by materially being satisfied, which you cannot be anyway? Or am I going to try for that route? So it's very subtle. It's not just A, B, C. We have to think, wake up a little more. So Bhagavad Gita is both our sadhya and our sadhana. Similarly, so is Prema Bhakti. Prema Bhakti, our sadhana and our sadhya. If there is prema within the heart of the sadhak, then he will perform all the limbs of bhakti with deep love.
That different.
Distinct prem. Wait, that was half the sentence. We finished the sentence. Everything, sometimes when a question comes when you're reading, you read another 2 lines, 3 lines, and then the answer is there. So Jivadharma is really like this also. So Bhakti with Digla. And Sri Krishna is pleased with him. He's pleased in any condition of consciousness. If we're not very smart, but we want to clean the floor for Krishna's pleasure, Krishna can be controlled by that prem. Like that devotee reading Bhagavad Gita at Sri Rangam. He couldn't even read properly the words. He was just seeing the picture, crying, yes, in prem, not even understanding. But because he had that attraction and affection to please Krishna, it doesn't mean you have lots of gyan. It means you just have, in the heart, you want to please Krishna. We have to come into this place of the heart region. Otherwise, it's empty. Only. And we have to remind ourselves different times of the day, 4 or 5 times a day, set the compass for the heart region. Without prem, the sadhak may perform bhakti, but that bhakti will never satisfy Krishna. You understand this? Without prem, you can perform bhakti. You can perform devotion. You can come in, bow down, put some money in the box, give some flowers, but you have no devotion, really. No. You have some other motive. You perhaps want something for yourself. Most are like this. This is taking us to a point of looking in the face of what is bhakti, what is Shuddha bhakti. That this constant practice will control Krishna. Tesham satatam yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. This will control Krishna, one who constantly. It's a significant, it's good to hear these truths. Maybe you're already doing this. I need to hear this. You're already realizing this, but for me, I need to hear this. Now listen, this is the simple example. This is simple. For a person who is hungry, even dry bread seems most good, appealing. Dry roti. If he's hungry, if he hasn't eaten for 2 days, he's hungry. Dry roti, no problem. But if someone is not hungry or not thirsty, he can easily leave a wonderful feast. He can say, no, I don't want, because he's not hungry. He doesn't have greed. The hunger represents greed. If you don't have, how will you get the greed? I will tell you a secret, what I understand. Harinam, Harinam, Harinam eva kevalam. This is how you can get the greed. Kaler dosha nidhi rajan, asti he komahanguna. Kirtanav eva krishnasya, mukta sangha parambraja. This Harinam will give you that enthusiasm, that utsaha, 100,000,000% guaranteed. I speak from some little bit experience with that. This Harinam will give, and this is the greed that is needed. If you don't have that, you won't be hungry for prem. Controlled by the prem of Vidura. Sri Krishna even ate banana skins. Actually, it's Vidura's wife, Vidurani. She was so much in ecstasy seeing Krishna, she gives him the banana peel, and Krishna reciprocates and eats them. So beautiful. And then Vidura comes, what are you doing? At least give him some banana to mix with the skin, and then it tastes okay. I personally just discovered this a few weeks ago in one clinic. They give you the cut boiled banana. I never had before in my life till I came here. The plantain banana, they cut the banana and cook it. And you can see with it. You can see the skin. He's left it on and he's just gone away. But when Krishna came, he said, give some banana as well as the skin. So then Vidurani, but her prem. And Krishna's prem also, it takes two for, you know, when you chant the Hare Krishna mantra, there's 3 Ishtadevs, isn't it? There's Hare Krishna, no, Radha. Hare, Radha, and Krishna is 2. And in between is prem. So it's 3. It's like a magnet. A magnet has a force field between it. If you have 2 magnets, they have a force field. So there's Radha and Krishna, and we are thinking of the prem between them. When we think of Hare Krishna, the prem between Radha and Krishna is there simultaneously. So it's 3 Ishtadevs, not 2. Duryodhana had no prem. So Krishna, he left that feast that has so many sweet tastes that was being offered to him by Duryodhana. Not interested. Sri Krishna ate rice and yogurt offered with prem by the wives of the Brahmanas. The wives of the Brahmanas. Sri Ramchandra ate the remnant fruits of Shabari. You remember the story? Shabari? She would taste the fruits. And Ramchandra, he loved that, even though it had been tasted. He loved it. A low caste lady dwelling in the forest. And Sriman Mahaprabhu consumed vegetables snatched from the devotee Srila. Srila. He took the vegetables. Mahaprabhu loved that so much. We're trying to understand the nature of prem. My Gurudev is very merciful. He gives these examples to understand what is the nature of prem. Bhagavan, hungry to eat whatever a premi bhakti offers him, very lovingly and enthusiastically accepts foodstuffs presented with prem. So we've come to the stage of prem when we've come through. And this is what we're trying to appreciate more deeply now. We talked a little bit last night, but this is more clear, this prem. Although Sri Lakshmi resides eternally on the chest of Sriman Narayan, she identifies as being the wife of a Brahmana. Proud of this designation, her serving attitude was slackened, and she was thus not able to enter the pastimes of Braj. Pride and envy are synonymous. You understand this word, synonymous? Same. And prem and humility are synonymous, these two. These two go together. And when someone is pride, it means I'm better than you. Something is better than someone else. So that means envy. So pride and envy are synonymous. But prem is synonymous with humility. Who is the most premi bhakta? Premi personality is Sri Radhika. She has the most humility. The most, even though she controls all the world, she controls Krishna. Krishna is the controller of all the worlds. Aham sarvasya prabho matah sarvam. He controls everything. But Radhika controls Krishna. So she is that control. Actually, Shakti Tattva, Shakti manifests all the worlds. Right? Swarup Shakti. Baladev is manifesting from Swarup Shakti. He's the first manifestation from Swarup Shakti. But you read in Brahma Samhita that Baladev is the first manifestation from Krishna. And unless you're educated, you think Krishna is manifesting. Previously in the 4 Sampradayas, what was their understanding? Vastu Parinamvad. Everything is coming from Vastu, from Krishna. But no, Mahaprabhu said, Shakti Parinamvad. He said this clearly. Everything. The Sampradayas previously were saying Vastu Parinamvad. Definitely. But this is Prema Vibhart. This is Vibhartavad, Shankaracharya. This is not Shankaracharya. I'm not talking about Advaita. I'm talking about Ramanuja, Madhvacharya, Nimbaditya, Vallabha. These four sampradayas, they had the conception that Krishna is transforming into the worlds. They did not have the conception that Shakti Parinambad was prominent. Mahaprabhu came to give this gift along with Achintya Beda, Abeda Tattva. None of the sampradayas had that clear. Madhvacharya is saying, yes, there's two. There's the Jiva and Krishna. But actually the Jiva and Krishna are the same and different simultaneously. So this wasn't clear until Mahaprabhu. This brings the glory of Mahaprabhu stronger. Mahaprabhu, he gave Parakiya Ras. Parakiya Ras was already there, but who understood it in Srimad Bhagavatam? Who understood that? Shukadeva Goswami is saying that 5,000 years ago. But which bhaktas were following that? No, they weren't following that. Ramanuja was not following that. Madhvacharya was not following that. Mahaprabhu, this is the glory of Mahaprabhu. He came to establish these different, in the sampradayas, it's Shakti Parinambad, not Vastu Parinambad. It's not that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This conception is centered around Aishwarya. This understanding of Madhurya was very, very, very limited indeed prior to Mahaprabhu. We talked a little bit yesterday about that. That verse chanted in Yat Komara Harasa Eva Ipras, that verse that Mahaprabhu chants in the Rath Yatra we spoke yesterday. Who understood? Rupa Goswami understood. Swarvadamodar, but practically nobody else. So this Aishwarya was very, very prominent. It's only Mahaprabhu who came to purify that. We are so blessed to understand this. I want to give you a map today. You can accept some gift from me and you can share it with other people. You know this diagram? You've seen before, huh? The day of Lord Brahma. Yes, so take a copy. Keep it with you and it will help your preaching. You also want a copy? This, you got it, digital copy. You want a copy? This is one day of Lord Brahma. And you see the red line? How rare is Mahaprabhu's advent? Krishna is so rare coming in this world, once in the whole day. And Mahaprabhu, he follows. So it's a tiny, tiny window where he actually appears. So it's very rare to actually catch this current. Without Mahaprabhu, we cannot understand Braja Prem. Absolutely, because you cannot understand Parakiya. Because Parakiya generally is abominable when you think in the material world. Lakshmi Devi would not consider leaving her Brahmani status. We just said this. Actually, I'll speak more from here. Proud of this. When one has knowledge of the relationship between master, savior, and servant, sevak, the tendency or desire to render service transforms into prem, and the premi bhakta chants the holy name, maintaining a vow to chant a fixed number of rounds daily. Sankhya Purvaka Nama Gananati. Big chores, heavy chores coming from the kitchen. Sankhya Purvaka Nama Gananati. The devotee engages in sadhan bhajan, absorbed in the moods expressed in songs like Radha, Radha Kunda Tata Kunja Kutira Govardhana Parvata Yamuna Tira. These are songs that Premi Bhaktas will sing. And then the translation for this, then He Radhe Praja Devi Ke Chalalite He Nanda Suno Kuta Shri Govardhana Kalpa Pada Patale Kalindivane Kuta. These songs, Premi Bhaktas will engage in singing. A devotee who performs sadhan bhajan in this way very much pleases Bhagavan, who becomes restless to taste even his ordinary offerings. In order to taste prem, he will dance just for a cup of buttermilk. Krishna, in Braj, he's dancing because the gopis are saying, I will give you one laddu. So he dances very beautifully. He's controlled. This is prem. We try to understand prem is our topic. Prem is our topic. Now, there's another verse by Rai Ramananda. You chant this verse. Chant nicely. This verse. Chant nicely. Huh? Okay. Chant nicely.
I have not seen this.
No? Chant it. Listen, Chaitanya Charamani. Chant it. Nano at the beginning. Here. Chant. Chant.
नानुपचार कृत पूजनानां अर्थ बंधो प्रेम नैव भक्त हृदयं सुख विद्युतं स्यात् यावत् शुद्ध अस्ति जठरे जरठः पिपासा तावत् सुखय भवतो ननु भक्षपेय. Until there is Jataragni is blazing, then only we start tasting everything. That is what it is mean.
Yes, very nice, very nice. Thank you, Prabhu. This microphone. Very less. As long as one feels hunger and thirst, one enjoys eating and drinking. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If one is hungry, one will enjoy eating. In the same way, even if one worships Atha Bandhu, Bhagavan, the Lord who is the friend of the distressed, with many different types of paraphernalia, only when the puja is performed with prem will the devotee's heart melt with happiness. Prem must be there. If you're doing offering, arati, something like this, if no prem, the Lord will not even... Why is he there? If it's just, oh, they told me to do the arati tonight, so I'm just doing the arati out of my duty. It says no, it's like the devas, they perform their duty. The sun rides its orbit out of duty. Actually, it's described out of fear in the third canto, that verse. The rain falls out of fear. The wind blows out of fear. But we can translate fear also as duty. So if you're doing your duty as pujari and just offering the lamp, something is there, but no prem is there. Sukriti, yes, Sukriti, but no prem. Absolutely. The quality of Vaidhi Bhakti is fear. If I don't come to Mangalati, maybe the sky will drop on my head. I become afraid. Isn't it? You know? But this is not the purpose. To come to Mangalati means to celebrate Nishanta Leela. Nishanta Leela. And the sadhak, he's thinking, when Krishna and Radha are in the Kunj after Ratri Leela, they are the closest in the whole 24 hours of the day. The closest, the tightest embrace. All kapra cloth gone, all jewelry gone, nothing. Just melting together, this pranaya, this mahabhav. And then they have to separate. So you have meeting and separation at this Nishanta Lila. This is the highest meditation. And also, of course, this Nishanta Lila is in Brahma Muhurta hour. So if we're thinking, Mangala Shri Guru Gaura, Mangala Shri Mangala Shri Radha Krishna, Yugala Piriti, Mangala Nishanta Lila, Mangala Rudaye, Mangala Arti Gore, Makata Hridai, Hridai, heart, thinking in the heart. When we hear this beautiful song, Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj, he's giving us this bhajan. So here, my Gurudev explaining, the essential meaning is that if a very strong hunger and thirst are not there, if that lobha is not there, then even if one is offered very tasty, appetizing foodstuffs, one will still have a desire to, will not have a desire to eat. If you don't have hunger, you won't eat. Likewise, if there is no prem, then even if one worships Sri Krishna with many, many different articles, still, you know the pastime? When Indradev, he tried to destroy all of Braj. He wanted to murder them. He was so proud and angry. Not just flood, he wanted to murder all of Braj. He sent that Shaman Vataka cloud. And with Vayudev also, the wind, all the devas were trying to destroy, to kill the Brijavasis. And when it's complete finish and Krishna protect everyone, Indra, he realized, yes, Govardhan hill, he realized. And then after he put the hill down, everyone come out. Then Krishna, he's walking on the back of Govardhan hill to see if any damage from the Indra's thunderbolts. And then Indra, he comes with Surabhi cow because he's afraid. Lord Brahma has said, you go with Surabhi Devi. She will, Krishna loves the cows too. And then all the demigods come also. And Krishna is sitting on one stone with some little yogurt in his hand. And all the devas are worshipping Krishna. They have like 1,000 Giwik lamps worshipping, big like this, you know. All the Vedic mantras are chanting. Big, huge fan and whisk. All articles are being offered to Krishna. And Krishna's bored. He's not really smiling, not really laughing. But then down on the road below, all the sakas are coming. And they see the devas performing this worship. And Madhu Mangal, big Brahmin boy, he says, I know these are demigods, he tells, because he knows everything. So he says, they are devas. But the demigods, devas, they know, if we stay here, it will create rasabas. We have to hide. So they hide behind the clouds. They drop all their paraphernalia on the ground. And the cowherd boys, they come up, and then they see all the big chamara, the big fan, the big ghee, everything, and they pick up, and then they start to Krishna. And Krishna now is laughing. He's joking. He's so happy. And the devas are thinking, oh my God, we did all this. Krishna not even smiling. And now he's so happy. So they see this distinction. This is offered with like some fear, because Indra was very afraid of Krishna. If someone serves you with Aishwarya, oh yes sir, you know, touch your feet all the time, take. How can you be really pleased with that? But when some real affection comes, we become so touched by affection. We want to become hungry for praying. In our devotional relationships also, try to please the devotees, not criticize the devotees. If you criticize, you go the other way. We're all trying our best in this material atmosphere to please Krishna. So many failings all of us make every day. It's problem. So we should not ever criticize. It should be respectful all the time. Respect is a symptom of love also. Respect is very healthy. So we should respect, yes, this person has come from millions of births now and is practicing, trying to come closer to Krishna. I should support and help him in any way I can and not judge or criticize. This judging mood is very negative. It can only be, it's envy, isn't it? It doesn't support bhakti. And unfortunately, in groups, this goes on a lot. It's just the nature. But if we're aware of that, and we want this praying, we will try hard to purify that. My Gurudev said so many times, if something is going wrong, if some devotee is misbehaving, it's not your business. You leave it to Guru, or you leave it to Krishna to make the adjustment. We don't have to go in there. Or someone who's in charge, or Subal Prabhu, some manager, he can deal. That's his job. But for us, we just want to do our seva. It's important. The first offense to the holy name, to blaspheme the devotees who have given their lives for this seva. We all are guilty at some time, me the most, of this aparad.
The same person, same person is disturbing the moods of the other good devotees. That is not an offense.
Just leave it.
Leave it. I want to disturb you, Maharaj. You want to leave it? I will start disturbing you.
What do you think? You answer your question yourself. You tell me yourself.
No, this all say this because they sit somewhere else and they say. When they be with that type of person, then they will understand these things. They will sit in their own house and happily they live, and they won't understand what's happening. And then we start preaching. You do this, you tolerate this. Right?
We try our best. We try our best to understand. We have to understand. Listen. No, don't make it difficult. Understand the heart of what I'm saying. You understand better than me the heart of what I'm saying. We are trying to avoid, to the best of our ability, to criticize the devotees. We are trying our best to do like that. If someone is really harassing me, I will sit them down and try to talk to them straight like this. This is what, no. This is what I will try to do. And try to explain and try to make it. And if I can't do that, I ask a third party. Perhaps you can make some arrangement here. But in Kali Yuga, Prabhu, every single family on the planet has some problem, some issue with another family member. Is it a fact or not?
Yeah.
All family members have difficulty. We are a family. We also have difficulty. How to cope with that? We cope with it by hearing this sadhya. This will help us. If I am only hungry to hear about prem and premi bhaktas, if I am genuinely hungry to hear that, I will automatically just ignore that disturbance. I will, no, don't object now. Don't disturb me now. Don't make problem. Understand what I'm saying and try to digest it, and in your own place, reconcile it. You have to reconcile. No one can reconcile for you. You have to reconcile with your intelligent mind. And if you chant more Nam, that will always reconcile the situation. Every single time. Every single time. If you become very disturbed, you go away. Many times people come to me very disturbed. So many times. Because everyone's always disturbed. Yeah. Oh, Maharaj, this problem, that problem. I say, how many rounds have you chanted today? They tell me 8. I say, well, go and chant another 8 and then come back. And if they say 16, I say, go and chant another 16, then come. And you know what? I promise you, I've said this 1,000 times to people, they never come back. No one ever comes back. After they've chanted the extra round, they never come back. Whatever. At least I'm not disturbed. They don't come back. The point is we have to make our own personal boundaries of how we want to conduct our activities in this world and how to be protected from, like when you drive in the car, you might be a very, very good driver, but there's other crazy drivers on the road who can come and disturb you. So you have to be aware of that. There's going to be disturbances. How can I navigate away from the disturbance? I should be smart. I should be intelligent. You will become intelligent if you chant more, and you'll know how to distance yourself from some person who might be very disturbing. Someone might be aggravating. You have to know yourself how to do that. Anyway, we talk about praying. We have 10 minutes left. Will that devotee start on time? Maybe. Okay. So, if there is no strong hunger, then there is no real desire to do the seva. So if there's no hunger to honor people, we will be dishonorable also. We must be hungry for that, because we know Krishna likes that. Krishna likes that we honor the devotees. If we read the books of Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Maharaj and all those personalities he describes, all those Mahabhagavats, they all have the same mood of seva to the Vaishnavas. So many examples are given there, trying to help this devotee, this devotee, this devotee. This devotee is sick and in need of some money or some help. Always trying to support the devotees like that. This mood is inspiring to hear about, not to criticize. So my Gurudev is saying that Krishna is not pleased if there's no hunger. And on the other hand, if one has a very strong hunger and thirst, then one will appreciate and be satisfied with common rice and water. Similarly, if prema is present in a devotee's heart, Sri Krishna receives great happiness by accepting even ordinary items the devotee gives him, like the banana peels which the Rani is offering. That's what we discussed. Some people may doubt that the example and the idea being clarified actually correspond, because in the example it says that only if a person is hungry and thirsty can taking simple rice and water give him happiness. In other words, this greed has to be prominent. Yet in the idea of being clarified, it says that Bhagavan indeed feels hunger upon being given anything with prema. Bhagavan is always hungry for prema, because in the spiritual world there is nothing but prema. And we have come, our consciousnesses have fallen from that spiritual consciousness. We have never been in the spiritual world. We have manifested from the Tatashta region. Tatashta is not a place, it's a state of mind. We've manifested from the Brahma Jyoti. That is where we were placed by Sri Baladev Guru, Sankarshan. And then we had that desire. The desire to love awoken us. And we could either turn to Sri Krishna in service, or we could choose to be like God in the material world. We all chose this, and then we enter the body of Mahavishnu. And then we come into this material. So we have never been in the spiritual. Yet the spiritual world is described in Jaigadharma as being love alone. Only love. What does that Sundara Ananda mean? Sundara Ananda, this meaning. Sundara Ananda. It means that nothing else can enter except Ananda. That's what it means. Sandra Ananda. Sandra Ananda, yes. Sandra Ananda. Sandra Ananda.
No. Prema Bhakti symptom.
This is the Prema Bhakti symptom, yes.
And Krishna Altashinitis.
Yes, this, what is that? Kleshagni Shubhada, Moksha Lakhutakrit, Sudulabhat, Sandra Ananda. Yes, Sandra Ananda. It means only bliss is there in that spiritual world. Because we have no experience in this material world of a place of consciousness like that. So we can't appreciate it so much. But by hearing about it, we can begin to. Thus, the doubt may come in the mind that if the devotee is hungry to serve, then how does this make Bhagavan hungry? The devotee is hungry to serve, He wants to serve. And how can Bhagavan become hungry? Yet such a doubt is unfounded, is not there. Because Bhagavan is always hungry for prema. He's always hungry for prema. If a devotee is hungry to serve, Bhagavan is hungry to receive, always to reciprocate. We can thus see that since Bhagavan lovingly accepts a devotee's service, according to the degree of strong love that he has for Bhagavan, that such a doubt has no basis. If prema is not present in the heart of the devotee, then the desire to accept service cannot possibly awaken in the heart of Bhagavan. If you're just doing the puja because you've been told to do it, you're just cleaning the floor because temple commander said clean the floor. No love. How can Bhagavan reciprocate? Once prema awakens in the heart of the devotee and reaches the stage of extreme eagerness and longing to serve, then the desire to accept service awakens in the heart of Bhaktavatsal Bhagavan. If the Bhakta is hungry, that desire awakens in Krishna, the Lord who is always affectionate to the devotee. That is why here Bhagavan is called Artha Bandhu, friend of the distressed. With regard to the object of sadhana, Sri Rupa Goswami has said, Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya bhav sa sadhanabhida. Nitya siddhyasya bhavasya prakatam hridi sadhyate. This bhav resides in potential within the heart and is awoken up by sadhana that focuses on the sadhya. That's the whole purpose of our reading this book, is to establish our compass point of the sadhya. And the sadhya is initially prema bhakti. That's the topic that we're up to, prema bhakti. That is our sadhya. And that involves this unconditional loving towards Krishna. So, and the highest example of this are the gopis. What's that? Naparye ham niravadya samyujam swasadhu kritvam pribhudyasya piva ya mavajan durja geha shrinkala. This leaving the shackles of this material life. Everything they left. This is the highest example of prema in existence, is the prema of the gopis. This is why we follow the gopis' prema. This is the whole purpose of this, is to establish the gopis' prema. We are in the anugatya of the gopis. This is going to be described as the Abhideya. We discussed this last night, same topic. I think, said summary of everything I'm saying today, just trying to open the topic a little bit more, according to here. So sadhana bhakti is the engagement of the mind and senses in the limbs of bhakti for the purpose of attaining bhav bhakti. This bhav is a potentiality which eternally exists in the heart of the jiva and is manifest in the heart purified by sadhana through the mercy of a nitya siddha, a living sadguru. The sadguru. It's guru who will ignite. He gives us this Krishna seva vasana. This bhakti lata bij is given by guru. What is Krishna seva vasana? It means the desire to serve Krishna. Krishna seva vasana. That desire, that impetus, that hunger is given by Gurudev. We have little bit ourselves, something, but the real hunger can only come from Gurudev. He will give me that. If we read again this book, my beloved masters, Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Maharaj, all of our Guru Varga, they all have one thing in common. They all glorify their Guru as giving them this prema bhakti. All of them. They all, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, will glorify so much Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. My Gurudev glorifies so much Srila Bhakti Pragan Keshav. Srila Bhakti Pragan Keshav Maharaj glorify forever Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he glorified Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his father, and his beloved Guru, Srila Gokishodas Babaji. All are glorifying their Guru, not just glorification for one day, one time, Vyasa Puja or something. But constantly glorifying Guru. So this Guru Nishta is the backbone of our progress. We must have this conclusively. If we didn't make connection with Guru while he was on the planet, that's very unfortunate. Then we must find another personality who we can make that connection with, who we are sure has that Guru Nishta and that prem that we are seeking. If we don't have that connection, the current cannot come in the heart. We can go on for millions of lifetimes. This is the truth, isn't it?
Is it required?
Huh?
Person is required, or it can be through feelings or through the offerings?
If we have a relationship with Guru and Guru has left this world, Guru is there all the time.
But if somebody has not seen, but still he has that faith or that
This
love.
is like the rit fix. No, you cannot, unless you have connection. You cannot connect. You can get Sukriti. Yes, you can get Sukriti, for example, by worshipping Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. But you can never get that current of prem. You can never manifest. Okay? Something today? We're going to stop. Arti. Shri Gurudev ki jai, Ananta Koda Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Prem.
Jai.
Hari Hari Hari
Hari
Bol.
Hari Hari Bol.
Jai
Pranam.
संवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
महाराज जी
Hare
दंडवत
Krishna,
प्रणाम।
Dandavat Pranam Maharaj Ji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu Ji.
दंडवत प्रणाम महाराज जी।
दंडवत प्रणाम महाराज जी।
दंडवत प्रणाम महाराज जी। दंडवत
दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे हरि बोल।
It's not working. The charger.
दंडवत प्रणाम महाराज जी।
Dandavats,
Somebody
Dandavats.
has catch.
Hari Bol.
हरि बोल।
The camera is speaking. Dandavats. Hare Krishna. Thank you for listening.
It's our pleasure.
speaking, Maharaj.
Yeah, it's our pleasure, महाराज जी।
You're
Thank
very
you for the sweet Harikatha, Maharaj Ji.
I could see you. I wish I could see you directly and know who I was speaking to. But wonderful topic.
You all need to come here tomorrow and day after tomorrow.
Sunday.
Tomorrow also you can come.
Every evening I'm going to speak from 5:30 until 7 o'clock on this Ramanand Samvad. I've just spoken it on live stream, but I didn't unpack it the way that I want to unpack it now, because now we have some very nice devotees here who will ask some questions, and we can open it out more deeply, knowing what is our sadhya. We can talk this topic forever. This is an eternal